Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order. My name is Jim Everhart. I'm the chairperson. Also attending tonight, this afternoon, we have Diane Tyson, board members Diane Tyson, Chris Cretin, Frank Hollingsworth, and Bruce Hess. And we have Township Manager Ralph Hutchinson and Howard Hitchens, Assistant Township Manager, and Stephanie Leakway, our recording secretary, and whatever. Do we have anybody? Yeah. No, nobody phone, nobody tuning in. Okay, so let's have a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Has everyone read the minutes of the meeting? And if there are no changes, there a motion to approve? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. Public concerns or comments? We have no one here, no one tuned in. Okay. So reports, recreation.
As far as Mrs. Charlie's not here, we did get the insurance for the Conestoga Valley Baseball Association, whatever it's called. They have games scheduled at Flory 1, Flory 2, and Lafayette Field from 4:15 the whole way through June 30th. Right now, the schedule we have now, all the different fields. And I think I saw one or two places there too. They're using it across the field here too. Right back from permission across behind the Mennonite school, or the ex-Mennonite school. They're using the field once or twice in there because they're searching for fields. That was one I was going to suggest. Or hope the Clark or hire somebody, maybe let them use some of their vacant field to make a field for a year.
Yeah.
Please. I've seen it quite with the different times.
Yeah.
Some of them are 7 in the morning. As an adult team, see adult teams, Lancaster Christian School came once or twice to practice, but what Lancaster Christian School, I don't know. It's just written on the side of their vans. There's a lot of people that call themselves Lancaster Christian School. I don't know what the technicalities in between are, but it's been being used quite a bit.
I've seen a lot of people just they're horsing around playing stuff with kids.
At least 3 organized teams coming or practicing there. So,
wow. Okay. Anything else for recreation?
I would just mention, I think Charlie circulated an email contact from CV Baseball about their desire for next season to again talk with the township, the board, about use of community park field as a designated location for them without having to rent the pavilion. So that discussion, which you've already had, is going to come back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyone have any other? What's on that?
Did that person ever get found if it's into recreation? That person ever get back yet? Anyone about putting that post up down there in the park? That's kind of recreation, walking from the library, that's the library.
I assume they made contact with Troy and it may have already happened. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see anything down the road, but yeah, that's good. Okay. Grounds, buildings and trails.
Charlie didn't communicate anything to me that he wanted to report on. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're planning to open up beginning of April as we normally do. But other than that, I don't know of anything else.
I did observe the several days that, I guess it was this week, there were people down there chopping up the wood, the stuff, branches and stuff like that that had come down over the winter. And there were no trees that came down, but there were big chunks of trees that came down.
When you say people, you mean township public works forces?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, not amateur. Yeah, no, you never know, do you? Yeah, that were big.
It's open Monday, right?
The winter porta johns will be moved out from those locations that we have bathrooms.
They are testing and all that's, everything's fine.
Since you brought up the porta potties, porta john, I just like to put in the minutes that I would like to thank the supervisors, East Lampeter supervisors, for finding the money to put the porta potty in. It was well used. Every time I went to the park, people were using it. I used it. And especially, I think I don't know whether it was there when we had those snows, but I noticed there were a lot of kids sledding that would, if they could have used it if it was there at that moment in time. I can't remember exactly if they were put in. And I would like to see the porta potties continued next season, winter season.
That's the plan.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I thought of you when I saw that. It's time to stop. Yeah, thought we saw that. And when did that go in? I didn't even.
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
January.
That's what I would have guessed. I would have said about 2 months ago. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it'll be the same, but there's gonna be one over at the Heritage Pathway Trailhead. over
Huh?
The roundabout. Facility there as well.
And the other thing is it's a little bit old business, but talk about the mini disc. And we about putting the sign in the box. And then just as an aside, about 3 weeks ago, I went to check to see how many mini discs there were, because I reported last month there was 12. I went back and there was 10. I said, oh crap, there's only 10 now. So I did my little loop around, and then lo and behold, there was another box at the 18th hole.
Yeah, that's where we're supposed to put it in.
And the other 2 discs were in it. And then last week I saw 6 in the one, and here we go again, made my loop around, opened the other one, and there the 6 were. So far, so good.
It's working.
It's working.
It's good. Good.
This past night I was good. Whoever put it in.
We're gonna try and work, think of you of mini discs and not of porta potties.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That's good. Good. All right. Anything else on grounds, buildings and trails? Anybody have anything? Huh? The recreation program.
Please report we received 5 expressions of interest in the position. And the deadline was this past Friday. So we're in the process of scheduling interviews with those 5 individuals.
Good.
Wow. Congratulations.
Hopefully, the right person is among those 5.
So you're hoping maybe a June 1 start or before?
Yeah, or before, I would say, if we can, depending upon their situation and leaving or moving or whatever they have to do, so. Yeah, that would be a fair date to shoot at this point, I think.
Good. Well, that's good news. That's good news.
Next meeting, we'll have somebody to
That'd be good.
introduce to.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? That's good enough. That's good. Okay. Any old business? Right? Any new business? Okay. All right, no new business, no public comment, so, wow. We got record time here. Anybody have anything else they want to discuss or bring up?
I guess I would just mention that I think I reported before that we had applied for called Commonwealth Financing Authority multimodal extension of the Heritage Pathway out to Geist Road, and found out today that the application was not funded.
Not funded.
So still waiting on and multimodal funding possibility, but
Okay,
that's no decision's been made there yet.
Troy now got all the mulching done at the playgrounds. They did that the other week. They were
Oh, really? I didn't
got all the
notice that.
playground mulching done for all the parks, I think. That's
yeah, I saw them doing some, they were doing a good bit of work then. Good. All right. Anything else?
So we have these this year versus last year reports. Fill us in.
Everything's about the same,
Yeah.
actually. Like a little bit.
Yeah.
That's inside.
Or 24 is what's already this year.
One last number.
Yeah. That looks. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like. There's no radical shifts, that's the main thing that you always want. I remember when we had during the pandemic, things were, they took a hit. But you know, things are parking right along here, so I think we're in good shape.
I don't know if we're all in for us, next time you consider a rate increase or anything like that. I see down in Lake Hot Township for intercourse and their park and everything that they do as far as all their rentals. They try and set a reasonable rate for their residents, but then they're trying to figure out what do we charge non-residents and stuff. And double.
And that's all. For years.
That's what they actually do there. They just, you know, if you have to set a rate for this, I said, well, how much do we charge non-residents? They just automatically, I saw in their township meetings, their notes that they have in their neighbors, they just double, you know, for non-residents.
Wow.
So that might be something to consider, you know, think about when. Because they try and keep, you know, their stuff in as much as they can. I know some of their rates are pretty high too, because that pavilion, that big pavilion they have down there has everything. It has a kitchen, everything, I think, I'm not mistaken, in their park, so.
Yeah, that's a nice park.
That's just something I did see, I wanted to bring it up sometime, I thought about it. We're always debating, well, you charge here and there, you know, so that's just their policy they have for everything that they rent or they do.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's, you know, we were talking about the fact that like, yeah, we're gonna revisit that, especially when we have our recreation director in place and maybe.
Right, because there may be some restrictions on pavilion use because we'll need them for programming. So there's, a lot of that may be in flux this year.
Yeah.
Do that stuff all at once when we talk about decoupling the pavilions from the fields too, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
a lot to consider there.
yeah,
And some parks too, like Strasburg is only open for, I think Strasburg Park, they're only open for pavilion rentals on weekends.
Correct.
Just apparently is
Yeah, and then during the week, it's,
baseball and stuff.
yeah, it's for club,
But we have
activities.
a lot of local businesses
Right.
that use during the week, we're a little different, maybe here at the Amish, they come in. A lot of our weekday rentals are businesses and Amish come in for the weekday rentals for that, so.
Yeah, it's amazing to me the amount of rentals that happen up there during the week. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of it seems to be outside groups.
Yes, I don't know, did they rent them at that time too, or they just come in by buses? A lot of busloads of people were on the path of some New York groups that were kind of. I don't think they actually rent when they come in. Lots of times they just kind of come in and dump off because they figure nobody's gonna be there.
Wow, I didn't even think of that, but yeah,
You know,
wow.
certain times of the year.
Yeah, there was, yeah,
Just come in and buy 2-3 buses of them in there.
yeah.
Get the buses, and sometimes they gotta park the bus out along the road in Indiana just because they can't get the buses around, they just unload them. Mess everything up.
I have to be aware of that. What I'll do is next time I see some of those groups, I'll make sure that there's a rental involved, I mean, I guess we can't stop them from just coming in and, squatters' rights, I guess.
Well, if nobody else rents it, has a rent it, yeah, and I haven't seen that happen,
Yeah,
nobody comes in.
no fist fights breaking out or anything like that.
I just see some of the strangest things back there. Lots of times the Amish will be there to have a rent and play group, and there might be a bunch of people from New York, like a lot of the Orthodox Jewish people come in, a whole bunch of them. I've seen them back there playing a baseball game against the Jewish people against the Amish. And that's quite a sight. With the Amish in their black clothes, and the other one in their pigtails and their white shirts and their chains and stuff running in. That's a tell them. I thought I should record that one back there.
Yeah, I've seen,
That's a sight.
that's the groups I was thinking of, and they're there for like a week or two.
Oh, yeah, when they have different holidays than we have. I don't know
The
exactly.
melting pot.
Yeah.
Does anybody know, do other parks have different rates for weekends and weekdays? For their facilities?
The West Lampeter, I think, does for sure.
Hmm.
Manheim Township may too, for some.
It would make sense that you have more pressure on rentals on weekends than you do during the week, but just didn't know if anybody was reflecting that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that some of that we would let the market kind of indicate that, if it gets to be a problem. But right now, we're not so overloaded that we don't, that we should, because that's the one other thing about raising the rates. Should we raise the rates? Well, we should, as long as there's lots of space available, it doesn't make sense. I guess we could raise the rates, but it doesn't make sense to do that.
I'll have to look and see what those dates equate to on weekends, and
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about it.
Yeah, I'm not under the impression that there's a lot of people come in and they can't get the date they want. Does that happen much?
I'm sure it happens. How much
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the impression that it's happening like 5 people want the thing on the same
I'm sure
day.
it's more on the weekend.
Over the summer, we get a lot of them
Yeah,
on the weekend.
Last minute, people.
like, I guess over like the holiday weekends, they're pretty booked. I mean, that's the other thing, we could do holiday weekends, we could do a premium rate for them.
During the week is mostly businesses. A lot of them are the same ones year after year. When you see them come in, who they are.
Yeah, they have a company picnic or something like that.
Especially the one group, you can tell the next morning who it was, because for supper they order pizza. And there's usually a stack of about 20 pizza boxes.
I have seen that too, yeah.
And the one group especially, the township uses them here. I think it's that stove shop that builds stoves and outdoor heaters and stuff down in Gordonville. I think he uses them sometime, and Troy uses them for maintenance and building things. That's what they have for supper. So you can tell when you see the pizza trucks come. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
One other thing occurred to me just to mention, down at Gibbons Park, we're moving the gate that blocks off the driveway from Old Philadelphia Pike back in a little ways,
Oh,
and gonna set up sort of some temporary parking, small parking area in the front there that'll be in front of the gate. So we'll still be able to get through the gate to go in for maintenance, but there'll be a limited number of parking spaces there that people will be able to get in and out of without having to go through the gate. We're hoping to pull traffic off of Mill Creek Road.
Yeah,
We are planning to do that.
We don't have any signage there yet for it as a park, do we?
No, to identify it as Gibbons Park yet, no, we don't have anything like that yet.
Would there be like a personnel gate that they could get in?
Our personnel,
Well, if somebody wants to get back in the park and they're parking in the parking spaces, is there a way for them to get through without climbing over the fence or opening the big gate?
yes.
Okay.
What we're using is basically what I would call Jersey barriers.
Okay.
So
Space that they can walk in.
between that a car can't get through, but a person will be able to get.
and forgive me, I'm trying to remember where we are on, there were some of the engineering studies. Is that still underway?
We finished the design,
Is that done now? That phase is done.
yes.
Okay,
Money.
okay. So, okay.
Are we working on engineering for the pavilion at Lafayette
Yes.
too? Okay.
The trail project from Strasburg Pike over to Oakview Road. The design. All that time.
No comment.
Yeah, we need to find a funding source. We are looking at a small grant that might be available to do some of the trail work down at Gibbons, but we need to find a funding source for the bigger, the bridge and the other things down there at Gibbons.
Hopefully with the governor's outdoor focus, maybe some things will, after this budget gets passed, maybe there'll be something in there for that.
There's nothing going on with the school district when, what they're gonna do with Smoketown Elementary yet. Are they gonna keep that? Are they gonna sell that in a couple of years when they get the other park done?
Well, Leola's gonna be moved over to there next year
Where?
to
Oh,
Smoketown.
really?
Yeah, they're basically, Smoketown kids are going to the old middle school next school year.
Okay.
And then Leola kids are going to Smoketown for a year
Okay,
so that they can refurb
okay.
Leola.
Okay.
And then they'll go back to Leola and then it'll be up to what happens
School does there, yeah.
with that. The school, there really hasn't been any kind of discussion yet at the school
Okay.
district level of what to do with it yet. I mean,
Right.
it just
I don't know if
hasn't.
you ever been down to Paradise where they had the,
Oh, yeah,
the
we're
minutes-
back. Yeah.
they took the old school and made that into something.
Yeah.
That's really something there. I've never been in there just to go and see it. They have
Yeah.
a stand there for people that are low income. They get credits. They go in, they have a whole store there. You can buy food with your credits. They have, like we use Vita down there. They have opened the whole thing up into like a community center, basically. You know, they really did a good job in there. You know, that they have it, if something like that could happen. That's good. Smoketown's a lot bigger than that. That probably did. How they could do something like that would be a good idea. They have, imagine.
Well, I mean, the problem with Smoketown is that infrastructure of it is,
Yeah,
it needs a lot of work, which is why the school district is abandoning it.
yeah.
So, I mean, if somebody would buy it and wanted to use the building as is, they're gonna have to dump a lot of money into it,
Yeah.
where it might just be easier to,
Not do that.
buy it more for the land and the location. And then,
I don't know what you call that, but I witnessed it myself when I was going to school there. Was every year there was like, oh, put another wing on here, put this on here, and it was like, what do you call that? You know, there's the core of the building that's probably before 1950, and then there.
that was all ditched, because my kids were in,
Okay.
my daughter had to go to kindergarten at first step because they were in the process of demolishing the old
Core.
the East Lampeter High School part, and then adding on to the other side. So that
Yeah,
was
that's-
in
I think I went
the
to,
early nineties when all that was.
I'm gonna say, I went in because the deaf church, yeah, I went to like fifth and sixth grade there, I think, so, yeah.
Yeah. It's just so much, 30 years of infrastructure that they've been, plugging in just to keep it alive.
Yeah, I mean, there were years that on where the one addition is now, there were trailers back there and you went into the trailer. I mean, it's like very, very much on a wing and a prayer. So, okay. Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?